We are ending the week covering a request from somebody in the comment section, as well as an update on ONT, Ontology. All right, so got my trusty notes here. But yeah, it's an important update for Ontology as well, because there's been a lot of price action that has happened in regards to the dump, and another pattern that we're going to get into on the charts when we check that out later in the video. Also, if you want to participate in the free Ontology trade setup, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe, hit the notifications so you know when we do an update, and you can plot your entry. All right, however we do the setup, how we have everything set up for the trade, go into the previous Ontology video so you can get acclimated as to where we are at this point. Okay, so shout out to the Logic Sphere. All right, he was a viewer of the channel who requested Edgeless. All right, Edgeless token. So in the last video, he requested, not the last video, but he also requested Reef, and I covered Reef in the previous video. I'm not going to get into Reef in this video, but if you want to, pretty much see a synopsis on it, you can go check out that video. But in this video, Edgeless. So it's a couple things. Let's just get right into Edgeless. There's a couple things that really caught my eye in Edgeless, and there's a couple things that really turned me off about Edgeless. So if you know anything about my criteria for investing, I know the same old cadence, the same trope, criteria investing, blah, 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 but it makes sense, okay? It makes sense, especially if you intend on buying at, such questionable prices and holding for a mid-term or longer term period of time. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some screenshots up here on the screen, and I'm going to go through this a little bit with you guys because I actually think it's fairly interesting. And I want to start with the about page on Edgeless when I went over there. So here's the screenshot. It says the world's first Ethereum powered crypto casino. They said that they're a smart contract powered crypto casino. First of all, you get kudos because Ethereum. Okay, but look at this screenshot. It says one of the few blockchain companies with a working product, generating real business results. I think shots was fired. I mean, if you know about that criteria, you know that is one of the big things for me as to why I invest in a lot of these cryptocurrencies and hold longer than a year or two. Now, real quick for a side note, basic attention token. Okay, what did I say about basic attention token last year early on about how they are the few that have a working product? And yes, the price struggled a little bit. It fought and fought and fought just to even get above or close to 30 cents. But look at it now. It went all the way up to 80 cents after hovering around 17 to 20, 21 cents for about a month and a half, 2 months. One of the better setups for the type of strategy that we presented on this channel. But back to Edgeless. Okay, another thing I want to put up is a screenshot right here for you guys. Just giving you just a look at a little bit of what it looks like as far as the games they have up here. They have dice, roulette, blackjack, slots, crash, and probably a couple other things too. As you can see, another thing that kind of caught my eye that was interesting was people were using Bitcoin. So a Bitcoin slash whatever cryptocurrency casino. Fascinating, excellent idea. I really like it. But let's not get ahead of ourselves just yet. So I also want to put a screenshot up here as well. And another thing that I say in regards to investing in something for a longer period of time, price stability. And what can we associate with or equate to somewhat price stability? Staking. As you can see right down here at the bottom to the right side of this screenshot where it says platform, affiliates, fairness, and staking. That is very important for cryptocurrencies to have staking and for people to earn rewards who are holding these coins over a long period of time, incentivizing them. All right, so now what I'm going to do, I'm pretty much going to go over the pros and cons of Edgeless. All right, I'm not going to go over the chart. The charts are literally, there's literally like 8 candles on the chart. And I know as of the making of this video, interestingly enough, it is up 42%, but I'm going to go over the pros and cons here right now. So the pros, Ethereum powered. We know Ethereum is the godfather, the holy grail, the top tier, the cherry on top of DeFi. They are the #2 crypto, and for very good reason. And despite all the talks about competitors and things like that, in my opinion, they are where they are for a reason. There's always room for people to come in and carve out a segment in the market, but in my opinion, they will still remain supreme, regardless of how great Polkadot and Cardano and Binance Smart Chain may be. So that's a plus for them and a plus for Ethereum as well. But this video is not about Ethereum. Number 2 pro. Working product. And let me tell you something. A lot of people talk that smack about cryptocurrency. And what is the smack they talk? Oh, what does it do? What is it backed by? And no products, blah, 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 blah. Well, that's malarkey. There have been cryptos like Basic Attention Token and a few others that have had products and have contributed toward technology development in the blockchain sector. So people who say those things, watch these videos and pay attention. Don't just go on blabbling things because you don't take the time to watch the entire video. Shots not fired. Just saying that's responsible if you're going to be putting out information on the internet that can deter people, potentially deter people, and kind of sway their mentality in regards to cryptocurrency, because it is the future and we want people to take advantage of this great opportunity. Next, we go into the next pro, staking. All right, I already talk about staking. It is what it is. Price stability, one of the important parts of the criteria for myself when investing in cryptocurrencies. But let's talk about the cons, because the cons is going to determine why I wouldn't buy it right now. I wouldn't go in heavy on it or look at it as something as a solid investment at the moment. It still has to cross a threshold for me. That doesn't take away from everything that they do or that's good about it, but let me explain. The con is low market cap. Right now, because the price is up 42%, let me put the screenshot up here on the screen for you guys. The market cap when I first took a peek at it was around $500,000, currently around currently around $600,000. So dangerously low market cap. Dangerously low market cap. I'll just leave it right there for now. And the second con, it's not listed on any major exchanges, meaning there isn't ease of access for people to invest in it, that to add more value to the coin, so people who want to invest it in easily can get their hands on it. So my thing for Edgeless, if you somehow come across this video and watch to this point, you last this long in the video, work on getting listed on major exchanges, okay? So for that point alone, not being listed on any major exchanges and the low market cap, not financial advice, I personally would only recommend investing throwaway cash into Edgeless at the moment. Let it catch a little more traction. Let them, get listed on some major exchanges, and then, during price dips and pullbacks and things like that in the market cycles, you can add to your positions. Not financial advice, but that is the most sensible, risk-averse way of going about getting into Edgeless if you really like the project. All right, I would hope that that's sound advice. Not necessarily, like I said, I'm not saying it's not a good investment right now. What I'm saying is don't take unnecessary risk with the low market cap. Working product or not, you're still at risk of being on the hook for that money being there for a very long period of time, 2, 3, 4, 5 years or more, depending on how long the rest of this bull cycle will be, as well as how long the bear cycle will be. Because we have to understand, at the end of the day, it's cycles. And we're still months and maybe even a year and a half away to ending the bull cycle. And because they're not listed on any major exchanges, they are at risk of not benefiting from this bull run up at the tail end. They're not going to reap the benefits of the tail end of the bull run up. All right, let me see what else we got here. That's pretty much it. Let's move on to Ontology, because I'm not going to get into my positions in this video. I really don't have time, but I really want to give you guys this update and talk about potential entry points on the charts, because Ontology has recently come back below that dollar price range. And I didn't post anything on Instagram updating you guys, because I'm pretty sure you guys, if you were already aware, know, oh man, it's below $1. And it was below $1 for a few days. You had more than enough opportunity to get more money into the market below $1. I actually did myself. I will go over that in the next Ontology update. My positions, when I mentioned in previous video about getting eviscerated, as well as adding to my spot price positions. I will get into that and update you guys on that. But let's take a look at the charts for you people who want to get involved in the trade setup, and you're looking for entry. It's above $1 right now, but we might be getting a retest to or at $1. Let's take a look at the charts. Let's get right to it, and then I'll come back and give my final thoughts and talk about upcoming videos. Let's go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go. This is actually exciting. Starting here on the weekly, and I want to point out something very important here. Not only because it's good for us to recognize this as we go along in this setup, but also for the naysayers who talk about not doing Fibonacci and things of that nature. See, when you understand the charts, Fibonacci is not necessarily a necessity, particularly for the type of strategy or partial strategy that I have introduced on this channel. So here on the weekly, what can you see? We can see that I talked about a major area, the first major area that I had these circle, the more oval, stretched out oval circle over here in this section. I talked about needing to get to and break that area, and I drew that first resistance line. And if you look over here, well, let me zoom into this side of the chart. What do you see, ladies and gentlemen? It came up exactly to that point. Let me highlight it for this screenshot, and got rejected. All right, you can see it right there, the little red wick. I'm going to zoom in for you guys, and we're actually going to go down to lower time frames, but check that out. No Fibonacci needed. All right, but let's go down to the daily. All right, down here on the daily, you can see it even better. You can see it that much better. All right, how the price came down to this area and got rejected at that line. All right, and you need to break this oval, this first oval closest to where the closest to where I'm speaking of. This first oval, let me zoom back in on this oval. This is a price area that you need to break and hold. All right, you have to break all three of these circled areas before you can even have the potential of going parabolic and getting astronomical gains out of Ontology. But nonetheless, on the daily, we can see that you have bullish momentum built on the MACD. You've got a decent amount, you can't see it on this chart, but you've had a decent amount of volume coming as well. And I'm going to go down on the 4 hour and show you guys why that volume came in, because a bullish setup happened after the dip in price. But that's the daily. Let's go down to the let's go ahead down to the 12 hour now. Let's get a closer look at this absolutely incredibly accurate price point that I pointed out for you guys for immediate resistance. Okay, down here on the 12 hour, you can see you got a long green wick to the right where the price action is. Let me put a circle here for you guys actually, so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Let me put a circle here. All right, hold on, let me change the color on this too. All right, here you go. On this screenshot, I put a circle. It touched the line perfectly, okay? You know, when you get those perfect touches, that's very good. That means you're on to something. Now, another thing I want to update too, I talked about, I drew a red line here on this screenshot, on this chart as well, from the preliminary introduction to this setup. And I talked about how that would be a major bounce area. It actually broke that and went into the red zone. You were at risk of going down and retesting the breakout point of about 62 to 70 cents. Let me see, what is it? Let me double check. Okay, yes, 72 cents. You were at a big risk of retesting that 72 cents. I mean, you came close. You came down to 78 cents before the buyers, realized, listen, 78 cents is a very good price for a continued move higher. And you start to see a lot of accumulation coming to the market. And I'm going to point that out down here on the 8 hour. Let's go down to the 8 hour now. All right, down here on the 8 hour, you can see we had that huge dump after a decent run up. You know, I know people were getting pretty excited. You know, I posted about it like, look guys, that's a good breakout. But what you saw here with the price dump along with Bitcoin can be considered a retest. If the buyers were going to see a good opportunity in this area of dumping to start buying back into Ontology. And I knew that 90 cent, you know, wouldn't be a good accumulation area for us, which is why I opted for $1, because that would give more people an opportunity to come into the market and give more of a time frame to save up money and double down on their investment. And it was a good idea, actually. So, you know, round of applause for us, for you know, you guys as well, for taking advantage of this opportunity. So let's go down now. What I want to do is this, right? I want to go down and I want to just get straight to the point. I want to go to this 4 hour. Because down here on the 4 hour, something amazing happened. And I'm going to zoom in. Let me go down to the 4 hour, zoom in for you guys. Okay, here we are, 4 hour. Let me get this this oval out the way. Okay, here we go, 4 hour. Do you guys see what I see here on this chart? Because I want to see if you guys have been paying attention to the technical analysis so you can learn this stuff and identify certain things. All right, so you can see that there's a lot of little choppy up and down where this most recent price action is. Let me draw a circle around it for you. Okay, here we go. This is the area that I'm speaking of. And this is a price action area. This can be drawn. This is a bullish pattern. And I know you guys can't see it, but I'm going to give you guys an educational moment. So if you do happen to take a look at an advanced chart like this and you see something like this, bring it to my attention. You know, ask me, hit us up in the DMs on Instagram, TheDollarTree. This is a bullish pattern. And it's called a inverse head and shoulders. Why do we call it that? I'm going to show you on this screenshot right here. Boom, there you go. All right. You got your first little green rounded bottom. Then you've got your larger second rounded bottom. And then you've got a higher low third rounded bottom. You can see you got the two sides on the edge. You got the two edges that are up higher than the middle rounded bottom. Okay, that is a inverse head and shoulders. It is a bullish pattern. Now that's what created the volume into the market for Ontology. A lot of people were able to identify this and the money started to flow in to create price recovery for Ontology. Now another thing that I want to draw as well, I'm going to draw a larger rounded bottom for this screenshot because this is ultimately what I'm looking for out of this. Okay, I'm looking for a rounded bottom, a cup, and maybe even a handle for a retest for a continued move higher out of Ontology. This would be a very big deal if this plays out. Let me switch the screenshot for you guys so you can see. Boom, here you go. All right, this would be amazing for us if we can get this rounded bottom out of this setup. You know, head and shoulders flanked by a rounded bottom. So right now, Ontology, we are looking very good on this setup for a continued move higher. You know, shout out to you guys. Let me actually extend these lines as well to further across. All right, so anybody new coming into this setup, curious of what's going on here, the white line is $1, or as you can see on this screenshot, is our accumulation line. When the price is below $1, we start buying more Ontology for our continued run up for this setup. Okay, so that's what that is. All right, the red line was pretty much the danger zone. That was the area where it's like if you break and stay below that area, you're at risk of going bearish for an extended period of time. But again, you know, people understand that Ontology hasn't really had a run up. So that was a great area to buy Ontology and start accumulating, which, you know, led to volume coming into the market and people seeing it as an opportunity for a price run up. Okay, so that's pretty much it for Ontology. Let me get my final thoughts. Oh, real quick too as well, since I extended this red line, another thing that you notice is where the two shoulders are, you can see that you've got a candle body bounce there on the left shoulder. Let me zoom in. And then a wick bounce on the right shoulder. Okay. there you go. You know, that gives validity to that line as well that I originally drew. All right. So again, guys, you don't always necessarily need Fibonacci if you understand price action and how to read the charts. All right, there you go. All right, there we have it. All right, so Edgeless and Ontology. Thoughts on Ontology? Listen, we need Ontology to make strong moves sooner rather than later so it can take advantage of this bull cycle and get to all-time highs. Because the reality of it is this: if whatever these coins with potential don't do while Bitcoin is bullish, it is not going to do when Bitcoin goes bearish, all right? So it is very important that Ontology makes that move toward all-time highs sooner rather than later, and hopefully for our sake even break it. And I'll talk more about potential areas where I may personally take profits, just to give you guys a little insight as to, you know, where I am mentally in regards to this setup. Because it's a good setup. It's a very good setup, especially for the type of strategy that will benefit the average regular Joe. All right, that's important. But upcoming videos, I've got to do the Tezos update, hit new all-time highs. I've got to do an Algorand update, and Algorand still hasn't gotten to all-time highs. All right, that's a big deal. It has to get to all-time highs, and also maybe even a Chainlink update, because it did almost hit $40. So a Chainlink update may also be coming down the line. Questions, comments, concern, coin requests, let me know in the comment section, or DM us on Instagram at the.dollar.tree. We are still considering changing the name because that's probably what's holding the channel back. The name is too relative to a dollar store. So that's pretty much it. I'm Shy. This is the Dollar Tree. You hit the like button because you appreciate this free trade setup. And I'll see you guys in the next video. All right.